Welcome to Discovering. It's week 2 of big bucks and stories from the big woods. And another theme that emerges in tonight's stories is remembering the outdoorsmen who made an impact on others or even an entire community and the legacies they've left.
Jerry Hershey special right here, and we're gonna try and do it every year.
Hopefully Tim is enjoying this tonight.
So sit back and relax. It's Monday night and it's time for Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone, forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak, surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields, call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill, the eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
I'm at Elmhurst County Market in Escanaba for the annual WYKX Trails and Tales Deer Poll created by Tim Kobasic. Tonight is the 25th anniversary.
Can you imagine that this has been 25 years now? It started at the Island Resort and Casino, went over to Hilltop, out in Rapid River, and is now here at Elmhurst County Market. And this couldn't be a better venue, having the large parking lot, places for people to park, a lot of lights. You can see people are having a good time. They have hot dogs and brats and walking around and checking out all of the deer like these here. Just absolutely amazing to see here tonight.
So we're out here tonight celebrating the 25th anniversary of the deer poll and the 70th birthday of our dad, Tim Kobasic.
This is the 15th annual Island Resort and Casino Deer Poll, and it's a great event that we've been doing out here for all these years.
He started this 25 years ago, and we're out here tonight to continue his legacy and to build on the foundation that he left behind, with a focus on youth, outdoors, hunting, fellowship, which we see a lot of that tonight, telling stories. So we're out here as a family just carrying on that legacy and here to support him.
Welcome everybody to the 16th annual Deer Poll at the Island Resort and Casino, Harris, Michigan. For 16 years they've been hosting this wonderful event that brings all of the hunting community together.
So to have this event for 25 years, what does that mean? A lot of people talk about what it's like to hunt with their sons or daughters, being able to have families come back and being able to do that. These deer here, the families are from downstate and they come up. He's been coming since he was 14, he's now in his 40s. So you know that tradition is a big part of what this program here is all about. And to have Tim start that now 25 years ago is amazing.
17 years we've been doing this, and it just doesn't seem like 17 years. And every time, I had a youngster come up to me now that took my hunter safety class 4 years ago, shot his first buck tonight, and that just warms my heart and what we're all about here and why we do what we do, Brian.
First buck that we had brought in tonight, I think, was an 11-year-old boy, Blake Gannon, and he was here before we even got started because he was so excited. He was with his grandparents. They had his deer, his brother's deer, and I think grandma's deer. I think there was 4 total, and he was just so excited to be here, and that right there put a smile on our faces. That's why we're here. You know, you see a lot of people who are excited, who spent the last couple of days out in the woods, but it's the stories of the grandparents with their grandkids and the moms and the dads with their kids, and that's what it's all about, is seeing the smile on these kids' faces and waiting for tonight to come here and show off their deer and their hunt, and it's what it's all about. The families that are here, the little kids that are here to carry on in these traditions. it's exciting to see. It's exciting to see. It's getting busier as the sun goes down, and we've already served I don't know how many brats and hot dogs. The cake's half gone, so it's an exciting night here, and it's exciting for all of us to be here and carry on these traditions for our local hometown. Everybody comes together for a great night, and it couldn't have a better turnout so far. We're excited.
So this is what you would call a dandy.
Yeah, it's my best by far, yeah.
You didn't go out in the morning, I heard.
I didn't. I drove over from Minnesota. I grew up here, but now I live in Minnesota, but I still come back to hunt every year. So still got family in the area and a lot of friends I grew up with, and so it's fun to see everybody once a year at deer camp, and I just make it a point to come over and hunt every year.
Very good. So this was the first day? Open
Yeah,
day?
yep, first night. I drove over in the morning. I was sitting by about 1 o'clock, and I saw the doe come out of my shooting lane at about 5. And she was by herself, or at least I thought, so I checked my other lane, and when I looked back I saw another deer. I didn't realize it was him. I got pictures of him, from earlier in the fall. I knew it was a bigger deer, so I got the gun out the window, and finally about 100 yards out they stopped. He turned broadside. I still couldn't see his head, and then he finally picked up his head behind the doe, and I didn't wait long. So yeah, I called my wife right away. I said, I just shot a buck, it's going on the wall, and this is not up for discussion. She'll have to pick the wall, but it is going on a wall for sure.
My family just moved back here, so this is one of the first ones that we've been able to attend, which is bittersweet, being able to bring our kids here. And speaking of kids, it's all about the youth. That was one of the things that put a smile on our dad's face, was to see the youth here, see that smile, hear the story, and even more, see that mentor for that hunter stand behind him with a smile. Thanks to our sister Lisa, she made these hats for the kids, UP Trails and Tales with his caricature on it. And the first kids here to register got this hat. And I tell you what, take a look around. A lot of these kids are wearing them proud, and they're pretty happy.
Well, welcome everybody. Again, 21 years of doing the annual deer pool at Hilltop RV Superstore. They're wonderful people out here. They've opened their facilities with food and refreshments inside to warm up. We've had a nice run of vehicles through already.
5 years ago, it was a tough night. It was a cold night. I wasn't playing a role in it, so I talked to Tim just 20 minutes before he passed out, and he was telling me he wasn't feeling well, and I feel bad that I didn't say, hey man, go to the hospital, but it's just one of those things that I guess it was good to be able to talk with him before he went. He passed out doing what he enjoyed doing most in life, and that was talking with kids about hunting and successful hunters as they were coming through.
We're going to be giving away 4 rifles tonight. This is unprecedented. We even got the Lions Club from Rock here, so we're selling raffle tickets for a tractor. Everybody's coming out to this great program. It's what hunting is all about in the Upper Peninsula. It's a night of fellowship. The good Lord gave us a good night tonight because he didn't last year.
Hopefully Tim is enjoying this tonight as he's watching, and I certainly appreciate the legacy that he's left this community to be able to continue to do something like this. So here's to Tim.
Thanks, Brian, for that great story. And while Brian was there in Escanaba, I was at the 3rd annual BuckFest in Crystal Falls. This great event is put on by the Crystal Falls Business Association.
Well, this year we've got a lot of donations from the area businesses, which is really exciting to see such an effort by the community. That's the biggest change from last year. I mean, everybody's been supporting it, but a lot more this year, so we're excited.
Everyone who brought a buck got a prize, and there were youth and adult categories for heaviest doe, heaviest buck, and biggest rack points plus spread.
Yep, there's raffles. There's a chance to win prizes. You get a little something if you bring a deer in also, so everybody can get involved.
The adult and kid with the biggest buck also get bragging rights on the championship belt displayed at Superior Sport and Feed. This young man's name will be engraved on the belt.
It was the first day I went gun hunting ever. My second deer. The first year I ever went, I got a doe, but this year, after about an hour of sitting there, buck came in, and then I got ready. I was aiming pretty much on the left shoulder. Then I just shot it, ran about 50 yards. Took a few seconds, so I didn't even get to see anything. And then went over there with the gun just in case it was alive still. So went over there, it was dead, and then we got it out, and then we dragged it out. We got a trailer, put it in there, and then we took it back to his house, and we put it in there until we could get it butchered, and then brought it here. Well, we marked him as an 8-point because he didn't feel like measuring, but he's a 9-point. But never seen this one. They just came in while we were talking. Yeah, we were even talking when then I just looked up and saw him, and then, well, now we got him.
So, morning, I didn't see too much. Then around 10, 11, 2 does came in, but then after that, I didn't see anything until he came walking in at 4:30. And there hasn't been that much deer, this year, so I took him.
How big is he? What's the
8-point.
biggest buck ever?
Yeah, it is my biggest buck. Yeah, I've shot other 8s before, but this one's a little bit bigger.
So the first day I sat all day and saw one little spike horn. Second day, hadn't seen anything, and then at 10 a.m., the 8-pointer that I shot was chasing a doe, and it's like you don't see anything, the woods are quiet, and then all of a sudden you see that just come running in front and basically, got him as he was chasing a doe on past me.
I thought, well, I'll sit out here till about 10 in the morning, and right at 10 o'clock I saw a flash up in the hardwoods, and waited, nothing happening, and I don't know, about 5 minutes later he popped his head out of some pine trees, went out onto a pasture, and I shot and got him. I've had 4 cameras out for months, and he never showed up on any of the cameras. Yeah, there's been quite a few bucks this year. I'm surprised. A lot of wolves over by where I'm hunting, but more bucks than normal.
This couple shot theirs within just a couple hours of each other.
2 hours apart.
Oh, 2 hours, 3/4 of a mile apart, but 2 hours. So. I brought an 8-pointer in. I think it was 156 pounds dressed. Didn't see any bucks the first 3 days at all. Saw a few doe. It was pretty quiet. And at first light, I saw a big body and waited until legal time, of course. And just made a good shot. It only went 30 yards. Real easy blood trail. I didn't see it go down because there's a pine tree that kind of blocked. I saw it run towards this pine tree and I didn't see it come out, so I wasn't sure if it ran into the thick stuff or if it just dropped there. But I had Marvin Hill's hat. A lot of people know who Marvin is. He passed away a few years ago, but he's a pretty popular guy amongst a lot of hunters. So that's my story.
Well, obviously we've been hunting every day. Over the first few days, only saw a couple doe. Usually see a lot more deer, but didn't see anything at all day yesterday, 10 hours in the woods. And today I had 12 turkeys in, and the buck that I had hoped to get came in shortly before 10, and I shot him and he dropped right there. And we have video, I have trail cam video, and the turkeys are flying out. Saw him drop and all the turkeys fly out. So just very blessed. We feel very grateful. So, and it's fun. It's really fun to be here. We've never come to this before. Last year I could have brought a bigger buck, but grateful for the fork I got.
A total of 20 deer were brought to the event, making it their most successful year. I hope it continues to grow. If you build it, they will come. This year in the Western UP, a special tent meant for gathering, camaraderie, and storytelling was erected behind the Sidnaw station along M28 in Sidnaw.
It was built in 1942, so it's a World War II tent, and in Jerry Hershey's tent. Jerry Hershey was an icon in the Sidnaw area here. I mean, he was just kind of one of those guys that did everything for everybody, and he was a real outdoorsman. But he hunted in this tent from 1955 until 2005, 50 years. Unfortunately, Jerry passed away a few years ago. Tough guy. Had 3 different types of cancer and fought it for a long time. His sister, Joy, had this tent, and she didn't know what she was going to do with it, so she donated it to us. We came up, actually Amber, who's the owner here, one of the owners here, came up with the idea, hey, let's put it up out back for deer season, kind of a tribute to Jerry, and just kind of a fun thing to do, you know, and it has been fun, I gotta admit. Yeah, we brought it down here and we just laid it out here, and we knew we had to have a center pole, so I went out here in the woods and cut it out, a tree out of the woods, and we put that up and we cut that thing off, I don't know how many times to get the height right, because we didn't know what the heck we were doing. And then we had to, you know, build the walls and get everything square. Doug Martin, who was he actually worked for Jerry and was a good friend of Jerry's, he helped me with this project. For an 81-year-old tent, it came out pretty good. Jerry Hershey special right here, and we're gonna try and do it every year.
Inside the tent, it was toasty warm from the heat of the old barrel stove, and dimly lit by the warm glow of an old kerosene lantern. The distinctive hiss of the lantern was background to laughter and stories of deer camp, staying warm, old friends, big bucks of yesteryear, and, well, wolves.
I'm not going to freeze for nothing. We're not sitting out all day anymore.
I've hunted 3 days and not seen one deer.
It's horrible. It's like you said, the fun is no longer in it. I hate to say it. How you doing, Dave?
Yeah. Dave, that's Miss Sydney.
I couldn't believe it. And
her name is Sydney, only because my daughter said, well, why don't you call her Sydney for Miss Sidnaw?
Coffee can with holes in it, and you soak toilet paper and kerosene.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Well, me and my brother were young guys. We would sleep in our hunting clothes, hat, everything, because it was so cold.
It was cold.
Another Finlander, Leinonen, he came up with borrowed gun, borrowed coat. The only thing he owned was his boots. He walked off the property just into the federal land, because my property butts into the Ottawa. He sat there for a half hour. The 4-point came by. He goes, God, I've only been here for a while. Sitting on a stump. He went home with a 12-point 15, 20 minutes after that. Wow. I mean, those were the days. My buddy's mother-in-law was a Finnish girl from Chassel. My dad was from Hancock, Ripley. So we both decided, he said, Artie, you know how to get up to the UP. Al and Millie have a camp up there. It's an old bus. So here was 2 Army bunks on both sides. And dashboard was like the kitchen counter. There was a table for 3. And those were the years that we were roughing it. We were just, took a nice 8-point one year. My buddy took a nice 7-point. We survived in the bus.
And that's what it's all about. Right. You know, we look at all the times that we had. We look back, obviously the deer hunting was frosting on the cake. However, I think the biggest part of it is just being around one another and just having a great time. And just seeing young kids to try to, you know, come up and say, well, you know, this is a tradition that, you know, we want to be a part of.
And like I said, we've been coming up here for 30 years, and so every year we come up, we relive the previous 29. You know, I mean, there's not a year that we're not up here. My father shot a 4-point in back of camp one year.
Mr. Magoo.
And he came in the cabin to tell us about it. His glasses were all fogged up.
His teeth were in his pocket.
Yeah. And he's going, I shot a buck! I shot a buck! And he's got his hands up in the air covered
We didn't
in blood.
believe him, but he did show us his hands, and they were all bloody, so we said, oh, maybe he
did. It's all
did.
gutted out. It's back there at the stand.
All gutted out.
So we go back there to get it, and he didn't gut it very well. He left half of it there for us to finish. And that was our last night. And so we said, well, we'll put this pop-up together and bring that up. There had to be 50 wrappers, candy wrappers, in the floor of that thing.
Yeah.
But
milk duds.
Yeah, Mr. Magoo come into camp that day claiming he shot a deer, and that story gets told every year.
And that's what deer camp is all about. The tent will be up for a few more days and will return again next deer season.
We're gonna leave it up for deer season, then we're gonna take it down, get it fixed up. So we're gonna do this every year. We all miss Jerry. That's really why we wanted to do this tent. This is Jerry.
That's all for tonight, and I hope to see you right back here next week for Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.